The story opens in a city of vivid color and restless life. At its heart rises a colossal palace, its white stone towers looming over the streets like silent judges. In the central square stands a golden statue, a mounted horseman, sword raised high, forever frozen in triumph. Imperial guards patrol the streets in pairs. Their armor clinks softly as they walk, voices low. "Doesn't it feel too quiet?" a young guard asks. The older one snorts. "No one ever knows when the revolutionaries will crawl out of their holes again. Just a pack of village bumpkins who banded together and dared to call themselves a movement. It's been peaceful lately," the younger guard replies. "Maybe they finally realized their rebellion was pointless." His companion nods. "The Imperial Knights likely crushed them already. Let's hope it stays that way." Far beneath the city, hidden from the sunlight and the Emperor's gaze, those same bumpkins stand gathered in silence. Torches flicker against stone walls. At the center of the chamber lies a weathered map. Their leader speaks, his voice steady and merciless. "The Emperor must die. The Empire must fall. Only then can the kingdom be restored." Around him stand knights of every kind, battle-hardened, scarred, resolute. Their expressions reveal no doubt. The leader turns to one man. "Logan," he says, "you have been entrusted with the most important mission of all. You will protect the secret manuscript at any cost." Logan already knows the weight of those words. The meeting disperses. The revolutionaries fade back into the shadows of ordinary life. Logan's friend, Charlie, jogs up beside him, grinning nervously. "You know, you're a real patriot. That manuscript, people died to obtain it, to keep it from the Empire. If it's under your protection, their army will come for you first." Charlie exhales. "Guess that's the price of duty." Logan stops and turns to him. "You talk as if I volunteered." Charlie hesitates, realizing his mistake. "I know it's because you can read the ancient language. Still, you didn't complain." Logan cuts him off. "Enough. Don't insult the others. This isn't about patriotism." His voice hardens. "It's about revenge." The world shifts. Logan stands years in the past, sword in hand, facing his younger brother in a friendly duel. Onlookers whisper among themselves. "Damien is a genius. He's only held a sword for 3 years. And Logan? 10 years of training just to reach this level." Each word stabs deeper than steel. Logan's grip tightens. His irritation boils beneath the surface. They whisper of talent. Of destiny. Of how bleak the family's future looks. Time blurs. Logan now stands before his father, head bowed. His crime hangs heavy in the air. "You dared to use paralyzing poison on your own brother?" His father roars. Fear floods Logan's eyes. Horror. Shame. "You let your inferiority drive you mad." His father continues. "You harmed your own blood. His verdict is final. You are no longer my son." Logan is cast out, expelled from the only home he ever knew. He becomes a mercenary. Years pass, 10 of them, filled with blood, survival, and regret. Only then does he finally understand what kind of person he had once been. When he returns home, seeking redemption, it is already too late. Sometime later, Logan walks through the city when murmurs ripple through the crowd. "A public hanging today. In the square." A name is spoken. Logan freezes. His blood turns cold. He turns and runs. The square is chaos, crowds gathered, soldiers shouting. The condemned man stands bound above them all. Damien. They say he was an aura user. A warrior who fought against the Empire on the front lines. The royal family retreats in fear, clearing the square. Logan's thoughts race. He has to say something. Anything. "Survive," he begs in his mind. "Please, just survive." The blade falls. He is too late. The executioner raises Damien's severed head for all to see. "Let this be a warning," the guard declares. "This fate awaits all traitors to the kingdom." Logan finally broke. Bitter tears streamed down his face, unrestrained and raw. From that moment onward, his mind held only one thought: revenge. The Empire had taken everything from him. His family. His brother. His future. He would make them pay. The scene shifts to the present. Royal guards thunder through the streets, closing in fast. Logan runs, breath burning in his lungs, boots slamming against stone. He turns a corner. A dead end. Steel flashes behind him. A guard lunges. Logan pivots just in time. Their swords collide, sparks exploding into the air. The clash rings through the alley as Logan parries, steps inside the guard's reach, and slashes cleanly across his throat. The man collapses to his knees, choking, before crumpling lifelessly to the ground. Another guard charges. Logan doesn't hesitate. He drives his blade straight into the man's neck. Blood spills as the body falls. A third guard strikes from behind. In one smooth motion, Logan spins and cuts him down as well. Before he can catch his breath, steel surrounds him. Guards close in from all sides, blades raised. "How dare you steal the Empire's treasure?" one of them shouts. Logan looks at them, and chuckles. Not fear. Not despair. A plan. From his cloak, he pulls out a small magical sphere. Its surface pulses violently. He crushes it in his palm. The next instant, a blinding, blood-red light erupts outward. The entire kingdom sees it. The explosion tears through the city, a shockwave rippling across streets and towers alike. Buildings shudder. Windows shatter. The night sky burns. As everything fades, Logan's thoughts grow quiet. His life had been filled with regret. He existed only for revenge. At least, he thinks faintly, I managed to warm up the Imperial Guards a little. Yet even in death, one regret refuses to fade. His brother. At least I can apologize now, he thinks. I'll meet you in the afterlife. Suddenly, Logan gasps. His eyes snap open. Cold sweat drenches his face. His head throbs violently, pain splitting his skull. He clutches his temples, breathing hard. Impossible. He couldn't have survived that explosion. Horror fills his eyes. Footsteps approach. A man rushes to his side. Young master! Are you feeling unwell? Logan freezes. He recognizes him. Rick! Logan whispers. Rick, his main servant. But Rick died 30 years ago. You're alive? Logan mutters. Rick pales instantly. Why, young master? You must have hit your head, he shouts, panic rising. Someone fetch a doctor. Logan turns his gaze toward the window. Outside, knights train in the courtyard, their movements sharp and disciplined. Banners flutter in the wind. He recognizes the emblem. His family crest. His breath catches. Then, a voice. Familiar. Warm. Impossible. Logan's body stiffens. His blood runs cold. Brother? He turns slowly. Damien stands there. Alive. Logan remembers this moment clearly. It was after their first duel, the one Logan lost. Enraged, humiliated, he had lashed out, hurling cruel insults. He accused Damien of being nothing more than the Count's mistress's child. Yet despite everything, Damien had always followed him. Always looked up to him. Rick returns, bowing deeply. Young master needs rest. He must not be disturbed. Logan smiles. A gentle, sincere smile. Damien, he says softly. Come here. The servants freeze in shock. This wasn't like him. Until now, Logan had done nothing but curse and belittle everyone around him. Damien steps forward hesitantly. I am sorry, he says. I should have been more careful during the duel. Logan shakes his head. No. I'm the one who should apologize. Damien blinks, confused. You did nothing wrong. Logan continues. But then, his voice breaks. He doubles over, trembling. His chest tightens, a lump forming in his throat as tears spill freely from his eyes. Damien freezes, unable to speak. Logan grabs his brother's shoulders and pulls him close. I'm sorry, he says again and again. For everything. For all the pain I caused you. His face is flushed red, tears soaking into Damien's clothes. Damien whispers. Brother, why are you crying? Logan doesn't answer. He just hugs him tighter. Slowly, Damien begins to cry too. The two brothers stand there, holding each other in silence, the world fading away around them. After some time, Damien gently pulls back. I'll come visit you later, he says softly before leaving the room. Once the door closes, Logan's expression changes. He exhales slowly. So it's real, he thinks. He had truly returned to the past. And this time, he could change everything. A maid entered Logan's room quietly, bowed deeply, and immediately apologized. Fear trembled in her voice. Moments later, Rick hurried in behind her. Young master, Maria disturbed your rest. I forgot to warn her. Logan waved a hand. It's fine. Both servants froze. She did nothing wrong. He continued calmly. Rick blinked, stunned. Logan remembered how he had once treated his servants, with cruelty, impatience, contempt. This fear was something he had cultivated himself. Rick, Logan said. Bring me a pen and paper. The words sent a visible shudder through the room. The servants exchanged frightened glances. A pen and paper, what punishment required that? When Rick returned with the items, Logan accepted them and said, Thank you. Rick nearly dropped them. You may go. Rick hesitated. Young master, are you truly all right? Does your head still hurt? The repeated question scraped at Logan's nerves. His expression darkened, and his voice rose sharply. Enough. Rick immediately relaxed. There it is, he thought in relief. That's the young master I know. He bowed quickly and exited, telling the other servants that Logan had shouted at him, which meant everything was normal again. Everyone returned to work. Alone at last, Logan exhaled slowly. Be patient, he told himself. This fear is my own doing. He dipped the pen in ink. What mattered now was the future. First, 10 years from now, a war against the Empire. A catastrophe that would erase not just his family, but an entire nation. Before that, 1 year from now, the War of the Vassals. Sudden. Brutal. It would partially destroy his house and plunge them into darkness. He wrote everything down carefully. To change any of it, he needed power. And for that, he needed his father. Logan left his room and walked through the estate. Wherever he went, servants gasped and shrank away from him. Suddenly, a maid rushing past dropped a bundle of bed linens directly at his feet. She froze. Her face drained of color. Why her? Why now? She didn't know what to do. Her legs trembled. Logan stepped forward and extended his hand. Are you hurt? The maid looked up. She saw a smile, awkward, unfamiliar, and eyes that still carried a sharp, blood-tinged intensity. Her knees buckled. She fell to the floor and began begging for mercy, apologizing over and over. Logan stiffened. So even kindness terrifies them now. He withdrew his hand slowly. This will take time, he realized. All I can do is prove I've changed. Later, standing alone before a mirror, Logan frowned. That smile really is creepy, he muttered. When he reached his father's chambers, the attendant announced. The first young master has come to see you. Logan's steps faltered. The last time he had stood before his father, he had been disowned. In his previous life, Logan had resented Patrick for years, thought him cold, heartless, a man who gave up on his own son. How stupid I was, Logan thought now. Sending away one's own child, no parent could do that without breaking inside. He entered the chamber and bowed. Father! Patrick looked up. Seeing him, alive, steady, unchanged, nearly brought tears to Logan's eyes. His father looked better than he remembered. Why have you come? Patrick asked, his tone distant but controlled. Logan expected this. For Patrick, no time had passed. For Logan, it had been 20 years. I wish to request permission, Logan said, steadying himself. I want to train alone, near the family cemetery. Patrick's eyes narrowed slightly. To win a regional war, Logan continued. Our territory must grow stronger. Knights, guards, weapons, everything must improve. That required money. And money was something his family lacked. In the city, their house was known as a poor one. But Logan knew something no one else did. In 3 months, an event would occur, one that could grant him a sum equal to the family's entire annual budget. But to seize that opportunity, he would need strength. And the right to vote. Patrick studied his son with tired eyes. So, he said at last, you plan to run away again because you lost to your brother? Logan shook his head. No. I finally realized how far behind I am. Late as it may be, I've drawn my conclusions. Patrick scoffed. As if a lack of persistence is your only flaw. I don't believe you've recovered at all. I know, Logan replied quietly. My behavior was the greater problem. I regret it deeply. His father rubbed his temples. I'm tired. All you ever do is talk. He turned away. Leave. Logan bowed. Before stepping out, he spoke one last time. Instead of admitting my weaknesses, I vented my anger on others. I was foolish, childish. This training isn't only to grow stronger, it's to learn control over myself. Patrick paused. When he finally looked back, his gaze had changed. This time, he said slowly. Your words don't sound like empty excuses. Logan exhaled. I intend to train for 3 months. Patrick frowned. To defeat your brother? No, Logan replied at once. The time limit is only to force efficiency, to draw out everything I can. Silence stretched. At last, Patrick nodded. You have changed, a little. He waved his hand. Very well. You may train. As Logan turned to leave, Patrick added, almost as an afterthought. It's already spring, but the ground is still cold. Try not to freeze to death. A few days later, Logan arrived at the training grounds. It was a secluded place, reserved for immediate family alone. No one would disturb him here, and more importantly, no one would witness his methods yet. In his previous life, Logan had learned the secrets of the divine sword. Once he mastered them, he burned the manuscript so it would never fall into the Empire's hands. The book had borne a golden falcon on its cover. Its contents recorded techniques passed down from an ancient hero, the one who slew the evil dragon that once ruled the world. Logan had encrypted the knowledge using the Independent Army's secret code. Even so, by the time he fully understood it, his body had already failed him. His age. His lack of talent. Even Aura Masters and Archmages of the Empire had no longer frightened him, but his own limits had. Now, having returned to the past, he had another chance. He focused inward. Power had to be gathered at the heart, condensed, and forged into a core. A task difficult even for those with above-average talent. In his previous life, he would have broken long before this point. But now, his body responded differently. As if it had been waiting. Suddenly, a brilliant core ignited in his chest. Dense energy boiled within him, then surged outward, flooding his body. His flesh absorbed it greedily, like parched earth drinking rain after a long drought. Logan drew his sword and swung. Energy surged forward. It worked. A laugh escaped his lips. His physique, his instincts, everything had changed. His body now aligned perfectly with the path of the sword. He didn't know why the core had formed so quickly. But at this rate, within 3 months, he would become terrifyingly strong. 3 months passed. The final day arrived. Logan took his stance, muscles tightening as he gathered everything he had refined during this time. His sword hummed with restrained power. He swung. A blade of energy tore through the air and slammed into the tree before him. The trunk split cleanly in two. Logan stared. Then he collapsed backward onto the ground, laughter bursting from his chest. This power exceeded all expectations. A beginner should never be capable of such a technique. Though the single strike drained nearly all his strength, it was more than enough. An ace. His goal was achieved. With pride, Logan prepared to report to his father. But first, he washed himself and changed. When he arrived at Patrick's chambers, a knight stepped forward, blocking his path. "You cannot enter," the knight said. "The lord is unavailable." "What?" Logan frowned. "Family law states that even direct relatives must announce themselves before meeting the head of the house." Rick frowned beside him. "Those laws are centuries old. 3 months ago, he entered freely." The knight shrugged. "Then the guard failed his duty." From a nearby building, voices drifted over. "No matter what, he's still the first young master. Coward ran off after losing to his little brother." The knight smirked slightly, confident Logan wouldn't even dare respond. Logan clenched his fist. So this is my reputation now, he thought. So low that even his own family's knights mocked him openly. He exhaled slowly. Fine. He would prove how much he had changed. Step by step. And this time, no one would dare laugh again. Logan spoke calmly, but his words cut sharply. "This knight is preventing me from meeting my father," he said, hiding behind a family law that outlived its usefulness centuries ago. The knight frowned, clearly unable to understand why the first young master had suddenly chosen to assert his authority. Logan's gaze hardened. Without another word, he reached into his coat, pulled out a glove, and flung it straight into the knight's face. "I challenge you to a duel." The courtyard went silent. Rick stood behind Logan, trembling so badly he could barely remain upright. Logan's voice rang out coldly. "Look at you, tail between your legs, trembling before the very coward you mocked behind his back. Your best years are already behind you." The knight's face twisted with rage. Blood rushed to his head. In the end, he nodded sharply. "Very well." Not long after, the duelists gathered at the appointed grounds. Guards clustered around, whispering openly. "He'll lose. Obviously. It's not even a question. After losing to his brother, he hid for 3 months just to avoid seeing him. How long do you think this coward will last?" Every word reached Logan's ears. Not a single spectator believed in his victory. The knight studied him with a thin smile. "You look relaxed," he said. "Try not to embarrass yourself." So he dares fight, Logan thought, but lacks the courage to insult me openly. Servants gathered as well, drawn by curiosity and dread. Rick had turned deathly pale. His breathing was shallow, his hands clenched so tightly they trembled. Finally, the judge stepped forward. "For safety reasons," he announced, "this duel will be conducted with wooden swords." Logan shot him a cold, condemning glance. The judge swallowed. This young master is stubborn, he thought grimly. But rules are rules. Wooden swords were handed out. Yet everyone knew, knights fought with force, not steel. Even wooden blades could kill. Whatever happened next would no longer be his responsibility. Still, he prayed the knight would show restraint. The duel began. Both opponents leapt back, widening the distance between them. The knight's aura flared violently. "I'll teach this brat his place." Rick watched in horror, barely daring to blink. Logan remained calm. To the untrained eye, this might look terrifying, he thought. But his power is clumsy. Unrefined. He lacks control. Fury burned in the knight's chest, fed by Logan's earlier words. Aura surged through his body, causing the wooden sword in his hands to glow faintly, heat shimmering around it. At 40 years old, he was the weakest member of the Order of Knights, counting the days until retirement. But now, rage drowned out caution. With a sharp burst of power, he lunged forward, aura exploding outward. Rick screamed. "Stop the duel!" The referee clenched his teeth. He agreed to this. The knight's thoughts raced. "I'm retiring anyway, might as well end this properly." He unleashed his secret technique. Logan moved. With a single hand, he intercepted the attack. The knight's sword was redirected effortlessly, its force dispersed to the side as Logan stepped inside his guard and locked his movements. The knight froze. He tried to wrench the weapon free. It wouldn't budge. Panic flooded his eyes. Finally, he dropped to one knee. "I surrender." Logan looked down at him calmly. "Is this your limit?" he asked. "And you dare call yourself a knight?" Shock rippled through the crowd. The defeated knight lowered his head completely, kneeling in submission. The guards whispered among themselves. "They were too fast. I couldn't even follow their movements." Silence hung heavy over the courtyard. Then Logan turned to the judge. "I wish to give him a second chance," he said evenly. The knight remained on his knees, staring at the ground in disbelief. He could not understand how it had happened, how this man had defeated him so completely. Refusal burned in his chest. Rage followed. Suddenly, he lunged from behind, attacking in a reckless outburst. A mistake. Logan reacted instantly. He turned, redirected the blow with a sharp parry, and sent the knight crashing to the ground. Logan looked down at him calmly. I said I'd give you a second chance, he said coldly. Not permission to bare your fangs again. The knight opened his mouth. I admit defeat. Logan struck him in the face before the words fully left his lips. Mercy has limits, Logan thought. He had already shown far more restraint than this vassal deserved, a man bold enough to defy his lord's son. Disgust flickered across Logan's face. The next moment, he unleashed a storm of blows. Wood cracked against flesh. Aura surged. Each strike was precise, controlled, merciless. The knights, servants, and guards watched in stunned silence. Rick cried out. Young master, please stop! No one recognized Logan anymore. In just 3 months, he had not only awakened power, he had completely reforged his swordsmanship. When Logan finally stepped back, the knight lay unconscious, broken and unmoving. Silence followed. Then, well, a familiar voice said, calm and measured. It seems you've truly awakened. Logan turned. Patrick stood at the edge of the grounds. You were watching? Logan asked, surprised. His father nodded. The entire duel. Logan lowered his gaze. I let go of my resentment. I freed myself from the past. And while correcting my thoughts, I felt strength fill me. His eyes narrowed slightly. In my previous life, I felt this only once, after I abandoned revenge against my family. He exhaled. I didn't awaken until I was 40. Patrick studied him carefully. You have changed. Then his voice hardened. But the first thing you did with that realization was to attack a knight. He deserved it. Logan replied evenly. Did you hear what the guards were saying? I heard everything, Patrick said. But was it necessary to go that far? Yes, Logan answered without hesitation. He tried to deceive the Lord's son and make me a laughingstock. If I had allowed it, discipline within our house would have collapsed. He continued, voice firm. Hierarchy is the pillar that holds any structure together. Once it cracks, balance is lost, and chaos follows. Patrick remained silent. Logan added, 10 years as a mercenary taught me something else. Among armed men, self-will must be cut down decisively. That night will serve as an example. Patrick sighed. He made a grave mistake. He forgot his duty and tried to exploit you. Then his eyes narrowed. But you overdid it. You still need restraint. Logan was surprised. That was easier than I expected, he thought. Do you wish to receive punishment for this? Patrick suddenly asked. Logan shook his head. No. I don't believe my actions were entirely correct, but I won't repeat them. And nothing like this will happen again without your permission. Patrick paused. Then he said, almost casually, you have yet to receive an official rank. Logan stiffened. And, Patrick continued, your fiancé will be arriving soon. Logan's heart skipped. So it begins. His original plan resurfaced instantly, to use this engagement to secure a large sum of money.
And this is how this part of this manhwa ends. Also in the future I will be bringing more and more exciting videos. Please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, hit the like button and stay tuned until the next video.